Hello everyone and welcome to Global Online, your complete guide to CLAT 2026 preparation. In today's lecture, we will be solving previous year question from the legal aptitude section. We will focus on passage-based question that test your reading precision and logical reasoning. We will break down each passage step by step, discuss how to identify key facts and learn how to apply principle to arrive at the correct answer quickly and confidently. So guys, the Global Online CLAT 2026 live batch begins on 10th of November 2025. Join us for structured learning, live interactive sessions, mock tests and expert strategies to maximize your score. Let's get started. So we have a passage. The Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Act 2024 that has provision for up to 5 years imprisonment and fine up to 1 crore for malpractices and organized cheating in a government recruitment exam was notified by the Union government and came into effect from June 21, 2024. The bill had received assent from the President of India on the 13th February 2024. The Public Examinations Act 2024 mentions punishment for leakage of question paper or answer key, directly or indirectly assisting the candidate in any manner unauthorizedly in public examination and tampering with the computer network or a computer resources or a computer system. As the offense is done by a person, group of person or institution, beside these, creation of fake website, cheat or for monetary gain, conduct of fake examination, issuance of fake admit cards or offer letter to cheat or for monetary gains, and manipulation in seating arrangement, allocation of dates, shifts for the candidate to facilitate adopting unfair means in examination are also among the offences punishable under the law. Any person or persons resorting to unfair means and offences under this act shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term not less than 3 years but which may extend to 5 years and with fine up to 10 lakh. Said the act, the service provider engaged by the Public Examinations Authority for conduct of examination shall also be liable to be punished with imposition of a fine up to 1 crore and proportionate cost of examination shall also be recovered from it. According to the Act, such service provider shall also be barred from the being assigned with any responsibility for the conduct of any public examination for a period of 4 years. So let's summarize this passage. The Public Examination Act 2024 came into the effect on June 21, 2024. Its primary goal is to combat organized cheating and malpractices in a government recruitment exam. The Act prescribes severe punishment including imprisonment for 3 to 5 years and fine up to 10 lakhs for individuals involved in unfair practices. For service providers like firm engaged to conduct exam, the penalties are even stricter with fine up to 1 crore, recovery of examination costs and 4-year ban from the handling public exams. So key offences listed in this acts are include leaking question papers or answer key, assisting a candidate unauthorizedly, tampering with the computer system related to the exam, creating fake website or conducting fake exam, manipulating seating arrangement or exam schedules to facilitate cheating. So there are some questions. Question is, a bill become an act only when option A is given, both the houses of parliament pass with the simple majority, both the houses of parliament pass with the absolute majority, when the Prime Minister of India gives his approval, when the President of India gives the assent. So as per the passage, the second sentence states the bill had received assent from the President of India on 13th of February 2024. This implies that the bill was transformed into act upon the President assent. So we can eliminate some options here. Option A says both the houses of the parliament pass with simple majority. This is a crucial step in the legislative process, but a bill does not become an act solely upon being passed by the parliament. It requires the president assent to become a law, hence this is incorrect. In case of option B, both the houses of the parliament pass with the absolute majority. It is similar to A. This is a procedural step but not the final step for the bill to become act. Furthermore, the passage often requires a simple majority. This option will also be incorrect. In case of option C, when the Prime Minister of India gives his approval. So the Prime Minister approval is not a constitutional requirement for bill to become an act. The head of a state, the president, gives the final assent. This is incorrect. And option D says when the President of India gives the assent, this is the correct final step as per the Indian Constitution, and it is directly supported by the information in the passage. So option D will be correct answer here. Let's move to the next question. The question is, a service provider engages by the public examination authorities for conduct of examination indirectly helped his family member by giving hint on a questions that were supposed to be asked in the examination shall, option A is given, be liable to be punished with the imposition of a fine of 1 crore, be liable to be punished with the imposition of a fine up to 1 crore. Option C, be liable to punished with imposition of a fine up to 1 crore and the entire cost of a conduct of the examination, and option D, none of the above. So in this case, we can locate the portion in the passage. The relevant part is the service provider shall also be liable to be punished with the imposition of a fine up to 1 crore and proportionate cost of the examination shall also be recovered from it. So we can look for the correct answer here, in which option A says be liable to be punished with imposition of a fine of 1 crore. This is incorrect because it states a fixed fine of 1 crore. The law specifies a fine up to 1 crore, meaning the amount can be less and is at the discretion of the court. Option B says be liable to be punished with the imposition of fine up to 1 crore. So this is partially correct but incomplete. The passage clearly states that in addition to the fine, the proportionate cost of examination shall also be recovered. This option misses the crucial part of the penalty. Option C says be liable to be punished with the imposition of a fine up to 1 crore and the entire cost of the conduct of the examination. This is also incorrect because of the word entire. The law specifies proportionate cost, not necessarily the entire cost. So the word entire makes this option too extreme and inaccurate. Hence option D, none of the above, will be the correct answer here. So we can move to the next question. An invigilator of a public examination found guilty of manipulating the seating arrangement to favor his relative writing the public examination is punished by the court. Which among the following is the appropriate punishment as per the punishment mentioned in the above passage? We have options here. Option A is imprisonment for 1 year and fine of 1 lakh, imprisonment of 2 year and fine of 10 lakh, imprisonment for 3 year and fine of 15 lakh, and option D, imprisonment for 4 years and fine up to 5 lakh. So for this question, the passage states any person or a persons resorting to unfair means and offences under this act shall be punished with imprisonment for a term not less than 3 years but which may extend to 5 years and with fine up to 10 lakh. So on the basis of this, option A, imprisonment for 1 year and fine of 1 lakh, this is incorrect because the minimum imprisonment mandates by the act is 3 years. So 1 year is below the statutory minimum. In case of option B, imprisonment of 2 years and a fine of 10 lakh, this is also incorrect because again the imprisonment term for 2 year is below the mandated minimum of 3 year. In case of option C, imprisonment of 3 year and fine of 15 lakhs, this is incorrect because the fine of 15 lakh exceeds the maximum fine of 10 lakh, which is specified for the individuals in this act. Now, in case of option D, imprisonment of 4 year and fine of 5 lakhs, this is correct. It falls perfectly within the prescribed range. Imprisonment is between 3 to 5 years and the fine is within the limit up to 10 lakh. Hence, option D will be correct answer here. Because the act sets a strict punishment range for individuals, the imprisonment must be minimum of 3 years and the fine cannot exceed 10 lakh. So only option D satisfies both these conditions simultaneously. Let's move to the next question. Identify which of the following is not an unfair means relating to the conduct of a public examinations. Options are given. Option A, coaching center conducting mock test for a student. The passage lists various offenses. We need to find the option that is not mentioned as an offense in the passage. For this option, coaching center conducting mock test for a student, this is a standard preparatory activity. The passage does not list conducting mock test as an unfair means or an offense. So this is likely the correct answer. In case of option B, the coaching center offering help to its student during the examination, this directly falls under the directly or indirectly assisting the candidate in any manner unauthorizedly, which is a listed offense. In case of option C, the center superintendent of a public examination on the request of the coaching center provides a seating arrangement of all its students in one hall. So this is a clear example of a manipulation in seating arrangement to facilitate adopting unfair means, which is punishable offense. In case of option D, the center superintendent of a public examination indirectly assisting the candidate. This explicitly mentioned as an offense under the category of directly or indirectly assisting the candidate. So the best answer will be option A. While a coaching center might be involved in malpractices, the act of conducting mock tests itself is a legitimate educational and preparatory activity, and it is not classified as an unfair means. Under the described act, all other options describe an action that are explicitly listed as an offense. So the option A will be correct answer here. Let's move to the next question. Who among the following is not a service provider in the context of a public examination? So the passage defines a service provider as one engaged by the public examination authority for the conduct of examination. So in case of option A, coaching center which prepares student for passing in the public examination. So in case of this option, a coaching center is a private entity that prepares student independently. It is not formally engaged by the examination authority to conduct examination. Therefore, it does not fit the definition of a service provider under this act. Hence, option A will be the correct answer. In case of option B, printing press where the question paper of a public examination is printed. In case of this option, the printing press is directly engaged by the authority for a critical part of conducting the examination. This fits the definition of a service provider. While in case of option C, the software company that manages the website of the public examination, this company is engaged by the authority to manage a key resource for the exam. This fits the definition of a service provider. In case of option D, the company which scans the OMR sheets of the public examination. So this company is also engaged by the authority for the post-exam evaluation process. This also fits the definition. Hence, option A will be the correct here, because the key phrase is engaged by the public examination authority for conduct of examination. A coaching center operates independently and is not contracted by the government to conduct any part of official examination process. Its role is purely preparatory and external. The other option are all examples of external firms or companies that would be hired by the examination body to perform a specific official task which is related to the examination administration. Hence, option A going to be a correct answer here. So guys, you have just completed another set of legal aptitude PYQs, one of the most scoring and skill-based areas in a CLAT. Keep revising these passages and practicing daily to sharpen your comprehension and reasoning speed. Also, our CLAT 2026 live batch starts on 10th of November 2025. Join now and get full syllabus coverage, expert mentorship and complete test series support. Also like this video, subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. That's all for today's lecture. Thank you.